Tonight's first period on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you by your local Chevy dealers and by Papa John's. The day after every Flyers win, get 50% off your online order at papajohns.com using promo code FLYERS. Wells Fargo Center, the scene for the Flyers and Blue Jackets. Flyers have won 7 in a row at home and, in fact, have never lost to the Blue Jackets in this building. A tie the first time they played, way back when there were ties, and 4 wins since.
Let's take a look at our Kia starting goaltenders for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Curtis McElhinney in goal. No Sergei Bobrovsky, still injured, trying to work his way back into the lineup. And Steve Mason for the Philadelphia Flyers. You can see his record continues to improve. The save percentage has been outstanding all year, and it's a big win against the Washington Capitals just a couple of days ago.
Well, back-to-back home-and-home series for the Flyers. Had one with the Caps, took 3 out of 4 points there, and now home-and-home with the Blue Jackets here tonight and Saturday in Columbus. And we are underway. Flyers in their home orange jerseys, road whites for the Blue Jackets, who make their first visit here in over 2 calendar years. This will not be icing as the puck goes all the way down the ice. Braden Coburn playing it. The Flyer line combinations at the top of your screen. Same lineup for the Flyers as was the case on Tuesday night against Washington. Cam Atkinson getting to the puck for the Blue Jackets, plays it to the Philadelphia line, and the Flyers look to move ahead. Raffle, a rookie, takes a hit from Atkinson as he plays it in. Jack Johnson back to play it. Was it the Feder Tootin, the veteran defenseman, could not clear. Coburn wrists one in, and the save made. Rebound, tipped around, and now finally controlled by Giroux. His pass tipped, was back out to Coburn for a shot. McElhinney watches that one go wide, and then Voracek spins it through the slot. Ghostman in, right back around, and Jack Johnson is right there. So the Flyers some offensive zone time here in the first shift of the game. And they'll peel back and go for a change as Tootin starts up the ice. Former Ranger, the all-time leader in points among Columbus Blue Jacket defensemen. There's the puck in. Coburn takes a spill as he tried to move that puck to the other side of the ice. Ryan Johansson gets to it. His pass back to the point hops over the stick of Ryan Murray, and he has to go back and play it. The regarded young defenseman will dish it around the boards and all the way out to Johansson, who's on a 9-game point streak. He is red hot. Second longest point streak in the NHL right now. Ghostman tied up behind the net by R.J. Umberger, the former Flyer. He comes away with the puck. Umberger out to the point to Savard, and then across to Murray. He'll send it side of the net. Boone Jenner gets to the puck there, right back out to Murray for a shot that went off the outside of the net. They look for the redirection from Johansson. Matt Reed to it for Philadelphia. Philadelphia bumped in center, but the Jackets get it right back. And Blake Como has it, but Reed steals. Reed the shot, save McElhinney, the rebound. Sitting there for a moment, but cleared out of harm's way. Not out of the zone, though. Luke Schenn will bunt that toward the cage, and goaltender McElhinney decides to cover up. Not quite 2 minutes into this first period. Here's a look at the virtuous scratches, a lengthy list for the Blue Jackets. Injuries to McKenzie, Prout, Bobrovsky, Boll, Gaborik, Wisniewski, Horton. All injured. Big names on that list. The Flyers still without Vinny Lecavalier. He did skate today, though, and Craig Berube will be happy to know that Lecavalier said it was his best day yet. Felt the best he has as he comes back from the back injury.
And then Craig Berube very careful to make sure his team doesn't overlook this Columbus Blue Jackets team, even with the injuries to some of their star players, including Bobrovsky. Said they're one of the hardest working teams and one of the best teams in the league at getting pucks down low in the offensive zone and jamming towards the net, and the Flyers have to be aware of it.
Yeah, they like to get in the goaltender's face, that is for sure. Steve Mason has to be ready for that. Rather Anisimov, the former Ranger, moving up with it. Backed up by Hartnell, goes across ice for Johnson. They're rolling around behind the net, or he dropped the former Sabre after it there. Claimed on waivers earlier this season by the Blue Jackets from Buffalo. Flyers win that battle, and Hartnell will play it across ice. Adam Hall couldn't knock it down. Right back to the Philadelphia line. There's Trop, sealed off by Strike. And the puck played by Gustafsson. He dropped it back, or make that Van de Velde with the puck. And it is Van de Velde.
Yes.
We've been told. Belgian heritage there, and he's playing well enough. We got to get his name right, correct?
Yes, we do.
I think he's been outstanding. I think he's done everything that they expect of him. And they got a good fourth-line guy that is big and can skate like that is outstanding.
Very versatile, can play the wing or play in the middle, and he and Hall will switch off taking the draws depending on the side of the ice. Flyers with the puck here as Streit sizes things up. Those two shots of the game belong to Philadelphia. Giroux, the right wing feed, Voracek takes the stride in, cuts in, and then the shot is blocked off. Bounces to Raffl, gets it right back to Voracek. Voracek tried to center to Giroux. It's tipped. Coburn tipped it. Now down low. Here's Voracek centering it. That one off of a Blue Jacket. Giroux gets it back to Coburn, who winds and fires, and that's blocked out high. Bounces behind the net. Raffl digging away for it. Timonen in from the point. Dropped it back out. There's Giroux. Giroux goes across. Coburn one-timer. McElhinney the save. Now Timonen a shot. McElhinney knocks that one down. Raffl after the rebound. He's still after. Pass to Giroux to Voracek, and that one stayed out as it went off the outside of the net. Great work by the Flyers. You talk about the Blue Jackets doing the work down low. Philadelphia right there, but McElhinney with the answers. Now Matt Calvert puts one wide. Cam Atkinson gets to it. His pass is back. The shot by Keaton goes high and wide off the glass. Timonen knocked down from behind, but no penalty. And the puck will bounce free. Giroux up the wall for Downey. Downey is checked. Calvert in there. Giroux chopping away, and it's Downey who clears the zone.
What an outstanding shot Coburn took. I mean, he had McElhinney going the opposite direction, but McElhinney just got a piece of it as he was going from pipe to pipe.
McElhinney coming back after missing the last two games. Sore ankle. And with Bobrovsky out, Andy McElhinney was their number 2. Blue Jackets just trying to find a way through all these injuries, and they're looking at this home-and-home series as a huge opportunity. They were able to sweep it somehow. They could jump up to as high as 3rd in the division. It's that tight.
Yeah, huge points on the line, and McElhinney's ankle looked pretty good as he got across there for Voracek's attempt at the back door.
Here's Reed around behind for Couturier. He's pinned. Downey gets the puck, banks it back out to Grossman. Grossman a little flip shot right up high, and it's handled by McElhinney, and he'll hang on.
Some early chances for the Flyers here, and that man, Curtis McElhinney's been solid in goal to start for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Another chance there by Matt Reed just at the end of that play. Here's the passing play. Voracek trying to slide it into the goal there, but McElhinney kicks that leg back and makes an outstanding save.
Well, Voracek, that's his best spot because he loves to be able to be on the forehand. Now watch, look at, do you think that that's called a toe save? Yeah. That's the perfect example right there. McElhinney just got the toe out there to make the save on Jake Voracek.
So the Flyers with the first 2 chances of the game and the first 6 shots on goal. Like Como will fire it in to the Philadelphia end. And Jenner after it. One of the highly regarded young players on this team. This is the youngest team in the NHL. Average age of 26.4. Flyers go offside at the Columbus line.
I think R.J. Umberger's the oldest guy in this team.
Don't say it. Can't be true. It can't be true, but it is. R.J. Umberger at 31 is the oldest player for the Blue Jackets here tonight.
Can you imagine, huh?
Good player for the young guys to look up to. The way R.J. plays the game.
And, you know, it's great that he's back where he started at Ohio State University. He had such a great career there, and that's where he makes his home.
Yeah, he's been there long enough to become the 3rd all-time leading goal scorer and only 3 goals away from moving into a tie for 2nd. Trails only Nash and Viborny in goals for Columbus Blue Jacket players. Puck out to Savard, who fans on that shot. Got it back, the puck, and tipped it along the boards. Trop around behind the net. Even Letestu, the former Pittsburgh Penguin, getting it to the point to Murray. He couldn't get it by Adam Hall, and it ends up going high in the air and then into the safety netting. Play is stopped. No score here early on. Good at Mercy University game notes. Well, it's the season of giving, and certainly the Flyers organization has been busy. Flyers alumni and ambassadors of hockey, Bob the Hound Kelly, Todd Fedoruk, and members of the ice team and fun patrols spread cheer Monday. Virtual 4-He's, making room visits and giving out gifts. Flyers alumni, including Bill Barber, Todd Fedoruk right there, Selesky. They visited St. John's Hospice in Philadelphia and a helping hand to those in need. And then yesterday, Scott Hartnell surprising young patients at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia as he read his new children's book, Hartnell Down. There it is. Reading the book right there. Hartnell presenting children with holiday gifts as well on behalf of the Flyers. It is the time of year to do that kind of stuff, but to be honest with you, the Flyers organization, they're doing that all year long.
They are. Great stuff, and that Hartnell book's a good Christmas gift for any youngster out there. Put it under the tree.
It really is.
And you can tell that everybody takes it seriously if you got Bill Barber in their kitchen.
We're in the kitchen to eat, but he's actually in the kitchen serving the food, right?
Well, even if he's close.
No score here early on. Columbus still without a shot on goal. Flyers have 6. McElhaney's gotten in the way of all of them. Timonen has his stick knocked out of his hands, and Feather Tootin will move up and dump the puck into the Philadelphia zone. Coburn chases and is sealed off by Calvert. The cross ice pass off the stick. Raffle and the Flyers have it. Here's Timonen, and he'll play it into the Columbus zone. McElhaney setting it up there for Tootin. His goals in each of his last 2 games does the veteran defenseman. Now across, Johansson, fine young player, blossoming this year. Dumps it in, and from the angle, stuffed wide by Umberger. He'll get it back out to the point. And that shot by Eriksson was blocked, and the Flyers will move up. Here's Reed. Reed is checked. Jumping on the loose puck is Streit. Takes a look in the middle, and his pass goes all the way back through for the shot by Schenn that went wide. Braden Schenn missing the target. Good spot there, though, by Streit.
That was a great play because he had the puck deep to the right of McElhaney, and all of a sudden saw Schenn come late way on the other side.
Here is Schenn moving up, and play called. Sean Couturier is in some discomfort on the bench as you see Jim McCrossin tending to him.
Yeah, blocked the shot in the defensive zone as the Blue Jackets were looking to fire it through. He's in good position in the shooting lane, and then he catches him right there above the skate. Maybe in between where the shin pad ends and the skate begins.
I agree. I mean, that you see the pain he's in right there, and he's still in that same pain to my left. And he must have caught it in a very precarious position.
Yeah, that bears watching. He has been so important to the Flyers' surge of late. Columbus only got their first shot on goal of the game. Flyers, though, will move the puck to the neutral zone here. David Savard sends it back to the neutral zone. Eric Gustafsson back. Held into by Blake Como. Veteran forward. Hartnell will reverse the puck back deep in his zone. Luke Schenn has to go back and get it. Drop it off for Gustafsson. That puck doesn't have a lot on it, though, and he is then wrapped up and checked, and Boone Jenner will take it away for Columbus. He's then spilled to the ice. And then the puck up for Simmons. He's checked. Hartnell also checked along the boards, but the puck does bounce out to neutral ice. After that early surge by the Flyers, mostly neutral zone or Flyer zone play here over the last 2 or 3 minutes. All drops it back to Gustafsson. As it pass to Zach Rinaldo. From the red line, he'll wind it into the Columbus end. McElhaney cuts it off, plays it high off the glass. It's a couple of players. Vandevelde looking forward as well, but back it goes to Jack Johnson. U.S. Olympian back in 2010. Probably will be so again this year. Goes all the way down the ice. Flyers have it straight. Taking a look and feeding Vandevelde. Vandevelde up the right wing, and from the red line will backhand in. McElhaney will take it, and he's just going to hang right on.
Well, the Adirondack Phantoms return to Philadelphia for 2 games at the Wells Fargo Center on Saturday, February the 1st against the Hershey Bears, and again on Saturday, February the 22nd against the Bridgeport Sound Tigers. Tickets are on sale now for 2 terrific matchups.
The Flyers are busy wearing the hard hats at the new building in Allentown. Will be the home of the AHL affiliate of the Flyers next year. And right off this faceoff, we've got a penalty. Holding call.
Going to be against Dubinsky.
And as Dubinsky heads to the box, Couturier on the ice, checking to see how much he's improved after sitting on the bench following that block shot. Looked like he was moving a little better than he was when he headed to the bench, and that's good news for the Flyers, and so was this. Flyers head to the power play after the holding penalty to Brandon Dubinsky.
Dubinsky off for holding, and the Flyers to the power play. Giroux will get the puck to Timonen. Now right back to Giroux. Side of the net, Simmons. His pass is blocked off by Tootin. The veteran defenseman was ready for that attempt by Simmons. Voracek getting Simmons the puck back, and now Voracek to Timonen with room out at the point. He'll wind, he'll fire, save McElhinney, rebound, save, and he's able to smother the puck as Simmons was chopping away.
Some good work by Voracek on the wall there, opening up some space to get that puck to Kimmo Timonen. Timonen alertly recognizing that Simmons and Hartnell were both set up in front. And the Flyers do a nice job of getting an A-quality opportunity. It's Simmons on the rebound of Timonen's shot here that gets a couple extra whacks at it.
And you can see what Columbus does is as soon as that puck is taken or shot taken from the point, they like to collapse around the goalie.
Timonen will wind and fire here wide all the way out to Giroux in the circle. Giroux to Simmons. The shot to save, rebound. Voracek tipped it back into loop paint, but the Jackets were there, and they cleared all the way down. Good puck movement by the Flyers early on in this bad advantage. There's the McDonald's power play payoff. Contestant. Still 1:10 remaining. On the man advantage, we passed the midpoint of this first period. Giroux, left wing feed Hartnell. Hartnell the shot. It got through, but it went wide. And there to take it out of there was Savard. It snuck through, but did not make it across the goal line.
Really nice job in the breakout there for the Flyers, getting Scott Hartnell that opportunity. McElhinney got a piece of it, and the Flyers just couldn't get to it to tap it over the line before the Blue Jackets got back to help out their goalie. So a real nice job in the breakout that led to Hartnell's opportunity, and it was Giroux who does the job. He gets himself loose here, a one-touch pass from Voracek, and Hartnell's hit well in speed, with speed here. He fires a quick wrist shot there and can't quite tap it in.
And Giroux's speed was the key because he really broke away and then hit the blue line with the speed, and Hartnell was doing the same thing, got wide enough to be able to get a great pass.
Flyers still have the only chances in this hockey game. 40 seconds remaining on this power play. They had iced the puck, so they had the first unit out. They've now made the change. And the second unit of the man advantage is out, and Streit moving well. And across the line, Streit drops it back for Brayden Schenn. The shot! Save, McElhinney, rebound. Ricochets back out, and there's Couturier. A good sign there for the Flyers, but that pass from Brayden Schenn is off the mark, and Anisimov will move up and play it all the way down. So Flyers fans have to be happy that Brayden Schenn is out there. I don't think when we left the building here Tuesday night we thought he'd be playing, and now happy that Couturier is back out on the ice after what he experienced early on in the first period. That puck bouncing, McElhinney will have it go off his pad. The power play over, Dubinsky out of the box. Brayden Schenn steals the puck, looks to get it to Downey and does. But Downey is checked and lost it. Coburn played it in center and back into the zone. A delayed offside here against Philadelphia. Free out for Dubinsky, the former Ranger. He'll chip it to the Philadelphia zone. Grossman plays it right back out. 10-1 of the shots here in favor of Philadelphia, but nothing to show for it. There's Grossman. Plays that one out to center through Jack Johnson. And they're going to call that icing against Philadelphia.
Looked like it touched Jack Johnson's stick there in the neutral zone, but the linesman was right in position, better one than I'm in, from up here, and determined it did not touch him.
It didn't. He clearly attempted to play the puck. Get Philly sports news and scores when you're on the go. Be the first to know the latest on all of your Philly teams right from your smartphone. Download the free CSN Philly sports app now. Berube with some words for his players on the bench. Couldn't tell if those were words of encouragement or whether he was admonishing them.
Out shooting 10-1 here, probably encouragement early on.
Instructional.
Oh, big hit there as Umberger was hit by Ronaldo, and that's going to be a penalty. And it's evidently on Columbus as Grossman moves the puck through center ice. We'll tell you about this penalty when we come back. No score in the first. Well, on Tuesday night, Brayden Schenn took this hit from Tom Wilson. Schenn left the game, did not return. Wilson was given a 5-minute major, was done for the game. In real time, you can see it was a violent collision. And we all know that Brayden Schenn, fortunately, not seriously injured there. No suspension or fine. The word came down just before the game tonight for Wilson. And just moments ago, Ronaldo right there with a hit on Umberger, and that gets him a 2-minute charging penalty.
But everybody in the building was confused, including the referees, because they waited for Columbus to touch the puck. Everybody went all of a sudden, whoa! We thought Ronaldo got the penalty, so did the bench of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Todd Richards, the coach, was going wild.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden calmed down when he found out it was on Ronaldo.
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought the penalty was on Zach, but then when the Flyers had the puck and there's no whistle, you're right. You're at that point saying, what happened that I didn't see? But it was actually the officials, and both of them. They both had their arms up.
Right.
So they both let play go, even though the Flyers had the puck. So Columbus with their first power play of the game. And that puck squirts out to the neutral zone. It's a pretty big topic, so we'll get back to the no supplemental discipline for Wilson and your guys' thoughts on that at some point during the game. As it scoots around to the other corner. Coburn after it. Reed could not clear. Tootin at the point. They'll drop it back. And now Johansson back to Tootin for the blast, and it was blocked in front by Timonen. Jack Johnson gets to it. Shuffles it around for Johansson. Johansson's a guy who last year actually thrived in a defensive role for the Blue Jackets, but they've always expected him to blossom into an offensive player as well, similar to Sean Couturier. And what's happening right now, it appears, at that 9-game point streak we alluded to earlier. He goes off the ice, though. Here's Nikitin moving up. He is checked by Raffl. There's going to be a penalty. As Raffl, a good job knocking the puck away, then had his stick held, and Nikitin felt he had to do that. And so the power play is over for Columbus.
There's that positioning again by Michael Raffl in the neutral zone. Great anticipation on when to challenge. And right there he chips the puck away. His stick is held. Columbus picks up the penalty and we'll play some 4-on-4 for a little while.
Nikitin does two things wrong there. The first is you're on the power play. You don't try to beat a guy one-on-one that close in the neutral zone. And the second thing is to take the penalty after it. That'll really get Richards all riled up again.
45 seconds remaining on the Ronaldo penalty, and then a Flyers power play should there be no other infractions. There's a pass to Letestu in across the Philadelphia line. Quick shot save, Mason, big rebound right out in front, sits there for a moment. Finally swept to the glass, but gotten back by Letestu. He was the leading goal scorer for Columbus last year. Letestu. And that was 13 goals in the shortened season. Has only one this year. Braden Shen knocked down, could not clear the zone. And here's Calvert with the puck cross ice. And Couturier back. And Letestu, actually Savard looking for that pass and couldn't come up with it. So the Flyers go to the power play right now. Ronaldo out of the box, minute 15 remaining on the Nikitin minor. There's your McDonald's power play payoff contestant, Jaworski of Allentown. And Gustafsson will blast that puck in. On the wall, Giroux, he played it back to the point, nobody home as the Flyers were changing back there. Voracek is back to get the puck. Now it's Timonen. Getting Voracek in stride, tips to Giroux. Now behind, it bounces, sits there for Johnson, he's checked. Simmons gets to it, lays it back to Timonen, flipping one, save McElhinney. Hutton was unable to get to that. It goes back to the point now, down low, redirection by Simmons. Went just wide. I don't know as if McElhinney got a piece of that. I don't think he did. Voracek across to Timonen. Now it's Giroux. They're set up again. Giroux back across. Voracek. And he tried to send that one across ice. Johnson ate it up and cleared.
Tried to go the backdoor play to Wayne Simmons there, and now Mason speeds the play up again.
There's 13 seconds remaining in the power play. Murray will send it up the wall, and Voracek could not keep it in. Atkinson with the puck. He waits, he holds, he fires, he scores. Short-handed goal for the Blue Jackets, and they lead 1-0.
Couple of misplayed pucks by Voracek. One trying to set up Simmons, where the Blue Jackets were able to clear the puck, and then trying to keep the puck in the offensive zone in the dying seconds of this Flyers power play. Voracek loses that one. Atkinson makes the right decision, fires the puck, and beats Mason to the 5-hole.
He's got a 2-on-1. Right there, Jake loses it just inside the blue line. But now he's got a choice. He either can try to make that pass, but it's a tough pass because he's a right-hand shot. So he elects to take the shot and just catches Mason moving a little bit, and it's a 5-hole goal to give the Jackets a 1-0 lead.
It's a shorthanded goal allowed by the Flyers this year, and the Blue Jackets their 4th shorthanded goal. Number 10 on the year for Atkinson. There's a shot that went just wide from Couturier. Flyers get it back. Couturier shot. McElhinney the save, and no further play made that one look easy. 1-0 Columbus. Blue Jackets for the first period lead here. Let's go inside the glass to Mr. Steve Coates, who has some company down there here tonight, and it's familiar company.
He is a very familiar guy to all Flyers fans. Jody Shelley, a former tough guy in the National Hockey League. You know what? I am on my best behavior, but tell me how the leap from playing last year and having a great career to all of a sudden this position, how's it going?
Well, this position right here, Coatsy, is crazy. I don't know how you do this. Pucks are flying around. I mean, I'm used to sitting on that bench and, being protected, but I'm really enjoying it, to tell you the truth. It's a great way to stay around hockey. Hockey's got so many great people with it, and it's just really rewarding for me.
Well, best of luck with it. I know that everybody loved you here in Philadelphia and Columbus also, so all the best.
Thank you very much.
Great to see Jody still in the game. He's doing some radio work or work at the internet as well for the Blue Jackets. Pre- and post-game show in addition to sometimes being inside the glass. One of the guys that you really root for. Super guy. Flyers pressing the action here. They have outshot Columbus 12-3, but they trail where it counts 1-0. Anisimov clears the zone. Timonen goes back to get it for Philadelphia. And for Hartnell. Didn't get it past Nikitin. Now Eriksson in the middle for Anisimov. He is checked. Braden Shen quickly ahead. Here's Voracek swinging wide to the left wing. Jake Voracek around behind, then wipes out, gets back up, and tried to take it home, but McElhaney was there. McElhaney looked sharp here early on. With Shen trying to keep that in, as did Giroux. They say he did. Here is Voracek turning with it. Voracek, grab, penalty coming up. And the puck out to center ice. So the Flyers will go back to the power play here. Delayed call. Goaltender to the bench. Extra attacker on. And Eovaldi will tip it back to Giroux. And Giroux's going to take it all the way back now. Try to organize a rush here. He starts up. Giroux right up the gut. Lost the blue line now. And the wrist shot deflected and went wide. Gustafsson to the carom. Back around to the other side. It'll make its way back to Voracek. He plays it in a lot. That's going to skip right back to Giroux. Giroux looks to the point. Gets it to Gustafsson for the shot off of McElhaney, and the rebound played by Trop. And there's your whistle and a power play coming up for Philadelphia.
Smart decision there by Claude Giroux to take that puck back and get it in the zone. The Flyers have just one home game remaining before the long West Coast road trip. You can catch the Flyers at home on Monday against the Minnesota Wild. Celebrate the holidays with a great seat at a Flyers game against a pretty good hockey team in Minnesota.
Right here you see Jake Voracek against Eriksson. And boy, does he do a nice job of holding on. And finally Eriksson just said, I got to pull this guy down. He's driving me crazy.
Flyers got a break there, though, Coatsy, I think, because I think the puck did come out to center, but it was ruled still in the zone. Would have been an offside play right before that penalty was called. Let's see if the Flyers could take advantage of it. At least from here, it appeared that way. We're high up here at the Wells Fargo Center. Flyers turn the puck over here. Look out. Toot to Dubinsky for a shot. And that one took off and found the glass off a deflection. Blue Jackets bidding for their second shorthanded goal. Now here's Giroux. Hands off to Voracek. Leading the line. Swerving to the right wing. Back across Giroux. Giroux looks at the middle. Fires. And that one off of Johnson. And then away from Voracek out to the neutral zone. Less than 2 minutes remaining now in the first period. Mason has to play that one quickly. Out of Calvert. And it's Giroux. Right wing feed. Downey. Moved it around behind the net. Johnson's right there. Big golf swing from Letestu. And they do move it out to the neutral zone. Just trying to get organized with the second unit out. Couturier, nice moving center. The dish to Shen. Waiting. Holding on to the puck, but then losing it. Murray there. He got an assist on that goal by Atkinson. He couldn't clear it. Couturier knocked to his knees, kept it in to Downey. Downey's checked into the boards, could not move that along to Shen, who was all alone in the corner. And instead, the puck goes the other way. Final 25 seconds of the power play. Not much happening on it thus far for the Flyers. Now Streit moving well and across the line, turns and is rammed into by Atkinson, who clears.
Pretty good read there by Atkinson. He kept pressuring Mark Streit from behind there, and Streit made the turn up the wall. Atkinson was in good position to throw a good clean check and get the puck.
One last rush begun on the power play for Philadelphia. Here's Braden Shen. Turning, but he's got two Blue Jackets around. The puck back to Streit. Out of the box is Eriksson. Flyers keep the puck in the zone. Downey turning with it. Downey will go cross ice. Coburn shot. It's blocked in front. Bounces to the slot. Shen after it, but it's tipped away from him. And Como moves the other way. So full strength hockey now for the final 23 seconds of the first period. Strike. Long pass out in center. Giroux checked from behind by Como. Downey will drop it back. Ostman for Raffl. Raffl checked from behind but moves ahead. 7 seconds in the period. Turns with it. Raffl takes a look all the way across. Giroux! And that shot blocked. It went wide. Great setup by Raffl. The horn sounds ending the period. Flyers outshoot Columbus 14-4, but they trail 1-0 in the goal category with 20 minutes now in the books. Tonight's Flyers Blue Jackets first period was brought to you by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. By Powerback Rehabilitation. And by Supercuts. Check out supercuts.com to find a convenient salon location near you. Rock the cuts at Supercuts. John Bourque and Rick Tocchet will analyze the first period as our coverage of Flyers hockey continues on Comcast Sportsnet after these messages. Tonight's second period is brought to you by your local Delaware Valley Audi dealers and legendary Audi Quattro all-wheel drive, the world's top-selling luxury all-wheel drive system. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by 5 Hour Energy Helps, which recognizes those who, despite their own needs, put others first. Nothing Columbus after 20 minutes of play. There are your Sugar House Casino statistics, which show some things going one way.
Yeah,
Flyers going the other.
Flyers getting the shots in that period. Curtis McElhinney outstanding goal for the Blue Jackets. And Columbus ends up getting a shorthanded marker by Cam Atkinson.
And there is the scoring summary. It's limited, just that one goal. Ryan Murray the assist on the 10th of the year for Cam Atkinson, former Frozen 4 MVP. Our GMC NHL update takes you to Pittsburgh, where the red-hot Penguins on the board again. Pascal Dupuis with that goal against the Minnesota Wild. 1-0 Penguins. They're the only team with a longer home ice winning streak than the Flyers. And they come off the victory over the Rangers last night. They keep losing players, although they get James Neal back tonight. But a lot of injuries, and they keep winning hockey games. Jonesy, you were busy before the game tonight.
I was. We've got Sunday Night Football coming to town, and I got a chance to take a tour of the NBC Sunday Night Football truck. It's an interactive truck, so kids can come in there and do this. Get yourself on camera and pretend to be
a broadcaster.
Chris Collinsworth. I was the first hockey player to sign the Wall of Fame here, too.
You're the first, really?
Yes, I'm right beside Hines Ward there, and I'm very happy to be on that wall. Look forward to the game as well.
What an honor, yeah. The Eagles and Bears coming up Sunday night. Big game for Chip Kelly's club.
It's fun to be a broadcaster there.
Well, I was just finishing the sentence for you there.
It's pretty cool.
I'm sure it was.
Going to send Coatsy over there after the game.
All the MVPs of the games on the outside of that, right?
There is, yeah. Yep. The football's there that will be given to the MVP after the next game, and then they get their picture on the outside of the bus. So LaShawn McCoy better get ready to get a photo taken.
He's got it as well. I mean, the Bears can't stop the run, so that's a pretty good chance. But they get Briggs back, so you never know.
Yeah.
Be a fun game, and the weather conditions apparently are going to be a little bit different than the last time the Eagles played there. The blizzard 60s. The last time, now we're talking 60s during the day, maybe even touching 70 Sunday.
Hope the guys don't get too warm out there.
They won't have snow to deal with, we can tell you that.
Right.
Ready to go here, second period, 1-0 Blue Jackets. And a goal by Atkinson. Header Tootin will play the puck into the Philadelphia zone. Stevenin is there. Couldn't get it past Atkinson. He takes a quick shot, and it's gloved by Mason. He'll hang right onto it just 11 seconds into the second period.
Mason not tested much in that first period, just 4 Blue Jacket shots, so I'm sure some early shots here against wouldn't be a bad thing. Goaltenders like to handle the puck a little bit. And Atkinson firing a quick shot there for the 5th of the game so far for the Blue Jackets.
They win the draw. Jack Johnson to the puck. Harassed by Raffl, but carries on all the way around. Backhander, and that one went out the other side, perhaps glancing off of Mason. Now they work with Dubinsky getting that puck in front toward the slot. Even in a jab at it. Bounces back to Dubinsky. Swept away by Coburn. Flyers move up with numbers. Right wing feed is to Voracek. Voracek holding on. Back to Giroux. To Voracek to Giroux. And he was checked from behind by Calvert. And now it's numbers going the other way. A 3-on-2 for the Blue Jackets. Atkinson's giving it a look. And then the shot and the stick save by Mason. Tootin is checked and the Flyers will move back. So back and forth we go. The pass in the middle. And here's the shot by Raffl. And it went wide as he was harassed and checked just a little bit as he went to put that one on goal.
Another good job by Coburn in starting that breakout. He's played some outstanding hockey of late, and he's been real aggressive in this game, jumping up and trying to put pressure on the Blue Jackets forwards to get back in their own zone.
Puck is shoveled deep to Philadelphia ice. Mason will set it up. The puck goes off of Couturier. Now he gets it back. Couturier, who took that shot in the first period off his foot, but is not missing a shift now. Gets it back to Streit. A little wrister's block. Bounces away. Grossman will slam it around behind the net, and Reed is there to Couturier. Coming toward the net, but wide. All the way out to Grossman. Grossman back down low, and it's Couturier. Flyers get the puck set up in the offensive zone. Spinorama by Streit to Couturier. Across for Grossman off his skate. Then his stick. A shot that goes up high and wide. Downey after it. Takes the man down. Penalty there. Humberger after it, and now it's Piccolino getting it to the line, but not out. Couturier get in, trying to move the puck deeper. His pass in the middle. Rita shot, and McElhaney square to the shooter was ready. Downey gets to the rebound to Couturier. Back out, straight across it goes. There's Grossman, winds and fires that one deflected out high, and it goes into the safety netting. But good pressure by the Flyers. They start the second period much as they did the first, spending time in the offensive zone.
And Braden Coburn's been one of those guys that's been very aggressive of late. He was outstanding against the Capitals, picked up a big timely assist there in Voracek's goal on the breakout. That got the Flyers even at 2 apiece tonight. Some good stuff in the offensive zone, keeping pucks in, firing towards the net, stepping up and using his hand there to fire another one towards McElhaney. Some really good stuff from Coburn, and he's playing a ton of minutes for Craig Berube.
Anisimov shot off the glove of Mason, back to Anisimov, and then his second try goes off the stick and out of play. The face-off will be in the Philadelphia zone. There's Braden Coburn, who spent quite a bit of time with a couple of different players on this Columbus roster. Derek McKenzie played 3 years in the minor leagues, the Chicago Wolves, but McKenzie is out injured and not playing in this game. But a 3-year teammate of Brandon Dubinsky in the junior ranks has very positive things to say about Dubinsky as a player and as a teammate.
You can see why when you watch Dubinsky play. The Rangers miss him. He is a prototypical Eastern Conference player and does a real nice job for the Columbus Blue Jackets.
A lot of former Rangers in the mix for the Blue Jackets with the 2 big trades that were made, the Nash trade and the Gaborik trade. So you can see where there's a big Ranger influence here. Puck to McElhaney, and he'll hang right on to it. Almost 3 minutes into this second period.
Well, Flyers Santa Sacks are one of the hottest gifts to give this year. Each bag includes an autographed puck, 2 tickets to a Flyers game, Adirondack Phantoms game tickets, a 2014 Flyers calendar, and more. Finish off your shopping list with Flyers Santa Sacks. They are the perfect gift for every hockey fan.
You guys got your shopping done?
Not quite, but working on it.
Back to the action we go. The pass out of the slot. Giroux shot deflected. It goes into the safety netting. No comment, Coach.
That's a no from JJ.
That is.
Yeah,
he avoided that one. Then he kind of waited for the face-off.
Yeah.
The longer you wait, the
We're
more
here
you
to call
got to
game,
spend.
guys. We
Don't
don't
wait
need to be
too
talking
long.
about Christmas shopping.
You got to spend a lot at the end.
Yeah. I used to do it all on Christmas Eve. Not quite that bad now, although this year might end up getting there. The Flyers obviously head out on the road tomorrow before playing Saturday and then have another game Monday. Not a lot of shopping time for us. Here's Coburn centering, but that one winds up on the stick of Atkinson, and he'll clear it all the way down. This will be icing. Yes, Timonen beat Calvert to the dot. Hybrid call. Well, the Flyers have really enjoyed playing here at the Wells Fargo Center of late. 7 straight wins. Big differential in goals. The special teams have not been the key. Power play average at 16.7. Penalty kill, nothing special, but they've certainly played well at even strength and have not given up much. Talking about 7 games, 11 goals allowed.
So no panic here for the Flyers early in this one. The power play not very good in the first period, and Columbus scored a shorthanded goal, but this is the way they play. Even strength, battling for pucks, big bodies in front.
Yeah, they were digging away in the blue paint there.
Boy, did Hartnell do a great job there. He was just getting drilled right in the head, and he kept coming. And nobody really had an idea where the puck was. And finally, McElhinney ended up with it. But boy, everybody was there, including Schenn and Simmons.
Almost looked like Dubinsky pushed it back into his own goaltender there with Hartnell and Schenn right around the puck. It may have been Schenn that fired it towards the net.
They'll drop the puck to McElhinney's right. And the Flyers get to it. Downey turning with it in the corner. Reed helps out. Downey back after it. Tight quarters here, though. And the Blue Jackets eventually clear the zone. Let's go back to get it. Right ahead. Couturier for Reed. Spun around, still able to get the puck in. McElhinney will accept that puck and cover up. 30-year-old goaltender. There's a look at the rivalry, if you want to call it. It'll become a rivalry now that they're in the same division, but they haven't played in a long time. Jake Voracek, 3 points in his first game against the Blue Jackets over 2 years ago when they last played. A 9-2 Flyers win. As you can see, only 5 Blue Jackets from that team playing tonight. And the team's changed so much, but you know, the Flyers have to get themselves back into the frame of mind that this is a division rival.
Right.
And I think the home-and-home series will have a lot to do with it. They'll play again, I think, in January in Columbus. So familiarity breeds contempt, and soon enough it won't be difficult. But maybe right away, right at this point, a stick save there by Mason Off will attest to, it's tough to think of this as a divisional matchup.
You'd have to think there'll be less trades between the two clubs now, right?
That's right. There's been a lot of them.
Yep.
Can't quite say how many over the last couple of years because we don't want to give away the answer to our trivia question. Mason, another save there on that shot as the Flyers now move the puck ahead. Hall, Vandevelde, and into the Columbus zone. Keaton will try the other side of the ice. Letestu getting that head. Flyers trying to change, and it's a 2-on-1 as they move up with the puck. Here's the shot. Skilly, he scores! He blew it by Mason. It is 2-0 Columbus. Jack Skilly, the former Blackhawk and Florida Panther, giving the Blue Jackets the 2-goal lead.
All about the change there for the Flyers. A little miscommunication ends up costing the Flyers. They have only 4 guys on the ice. The 5th didn't jump out. Adam Hall jumps off, and Voracek can't get into the play. The second time in this period, it's a 2-on-1 for the Jackets, and the second time that they blast away instead of passing, and it works on both occasions.
You see, Coburn's going to take Jenner to the net. That becomes 1-on-1 between Skilly and the goaltender, and Skilly definitely had the opportunity to wind up and find that far corner.
Jack Skilly, who came over as a free agent. Flyers played against him when he was in Florida and with Chicago as well. But here as a Blue Jacket, he is on the board, his 3rd of the year and only his 8th game played. He's been in the minors and been a healthy scratch much of the year for Columbus. So the Flyers have a hole to dig out of now. Down 2 as we pass the 5-minute mark of this second period. This is the Flyers' 5th opportunity to move above 500 this year. Jackets are offside at the Philadelphia line. They have not been able to, obviously, in their first 4. That includes opening night, by the way.
You have to really dig deep here.
Yeah.
After the Jackets have gotten off of this 2-0 lead, and the Jackets play a very consistent style of checking game, too, that the Flyers were very good against in the first period, but couldn't beat Curtis McElhinney.
They want to get this comeback going quickly, though, because under Todd Richards, the Blue Jackets have been tremendous when leading after 2 periods. They have not lost a game in regulation with Todd Richards as the head coach. 36-0-1.
Wow.
There's a lob all the way down the ice. They wave off the icing. Calvert all wrapped up with strike. Grossman's checked by Dubinsky, but Simmons is there to help out. The Flyers Look to move up, but Simmons misfiring with that pass. No icing. Savard back to play it. They'll try the boards. Albert tipped it. Makes its way to the neutral zone. Trying to get it back in was Hartnell, but he's stripped of the puck, and Calvert heads the other way to Atkinson. Atkinson waiting and firing, and snared by Mason. He'll hang on. Blue Jackets with a 2-0 lead here in the second.
2-0, the Columbus Blue Jackets lead the Philadelphia Flyers. Let's take a look at our Geico quote. And this comes from Luke Schenn after seeing his brother get hit the other night by Wilson. It's pretty tough because he is my brother, but to see anybody going into the boards like that head first is really tough. Those boards have absolutely no give, and the first thing you think of is the neck and the back of the head. And now with the news coming out that Tom Wilson did not get any suspension time.
Or fine.
Thank you. The reaction that we see from Twitter as we take a look at Braden Schenn. Eric Stevenson from the Orange County Register saying, so Washington's Tom Wilson gets nothing for long distance charge on Braden Schenn. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. He likened to another hit years ago by Wisniewski, who is now with the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Jesse Spector, who writes for the Sporting News, that second tweet. I agree with his point. Braden Schenn appears healthy, and hopefully he is. As look out here, Foligno getting to this puck, trying to center it out in front. Now does get the puck to Johansson and out to the point for a shot into the midsection of Mason to finish that thought. His tweet was that the league won't look too good if Braden Schenn does end up being hurt from that hit. Now, it appears as though he's okay. He's playing. Doesn't seem to be missing any shifts here today, but sometimes with hits to the head or the neck, the injury can get worse over a couple of days. Hopefully that's not the case. But fact is, no supplementary discipline. Brendan Shanahan, if you want to check it out, go online, NHL.com. Gives a detailed explanation as to why they did not give Tom Wilson a suspension or a fine. You can agree with it or disagree with it. What I'm afraid of, though, guys, is what the players think as to what they can do and can't do. And it doesn't have to just do with that kind of hit, but even the hits to the head, because I can't really make out some of the discipline seems to be inconsistent to me. Sometimes they're getting 5 games, 2 games, sometimes they aren't. I'm just not quite sure at this point.
I would think 2 things. One, as the guy that's throwing the body check, I would think that I can continue to hit the player as hard as I possibly can, and if it's a violent collision or not, it's not going to get me a suspension. The second thing I would think is if I'm the player with the puck, I'm going to be really aware of what's going on around me. And that's what it tells me with that ruling. Now, Shanahan never called it a clean check. He thought the 5-minute penalty was sufficient for charging, but it was not deemed to be a clean check. He thought the penalty was okay.
Skilly just blocked a shot. The goal scorer moments ago now in some pain. And Coach, just to follow up on what Jonesy was saying, that was serious penalty to the Caps, and the Flyers scored twice in that power play, and it certainly helped them win that hockey game.
Well, that's what that was the key. I mean, okay, that 5-minute majors, we look at Jack Skilly blocked that shot. He was really hurting. The former Wisconsin star. As you can see, Luke Schenn gets all that one. And Skilly got himself, listen, you know, if you're going to block a shot, make sure you go legs first. Make sure your head's behind you. Don't go body sideways and things like that, because you're going to get hurt. And that goes back to what I was going to talk about Braden Schenn. As much as he got hit there, and Jonesy mentioned it, it's still up to the player to be responsible for putting himself out of harm's way. He's got to make sure that he takes care of himself. And right there, Schenn was about 3 feet off the board. So you got to beware of what's going on around you.
By rule, it's not, though, Coach, so we should clarify that. The onus is on the player that's throwing the hit
I agree
at
with
a
that.
player in a vulnerable position. But as a player, I would be aware to protect my space and make sure that I was ready for it.
I was saying it's the player. I didn't mean it for saying the National Hockey League's pressuring you. I'm saying that as a player, and that's always been, you got to put yourself in a position to be safe.
Play carrying on here is Center's pass is blocked. Flyers get it back out to center. We approach, in fact, past the 8-minute mark of this second period. 2-0 Columbus. And here is Mark Strike. Pass to Downey, and now ahead. That was Grossman, now ahead, and it's slug into the Columbus zone by Hartnell. The Jackets have it back, and Calvert able to lob that one out. Batted out of midair by Hartnell. Flyers in a delayed offside. They retouch, so play carries on. And Erickson, another former Ranger, gets that puck out of Calvert. He is spun down to the ice, lost it. Strike deals it back into the Columbus zone. McElhinney setting it up. Now it's moved along by Nikitin. Atkinson will go across ice. Eriksson floated that one out, got it past Streit. On the cross ice by Dubinsky, but Grossman will be able to get to the puck. Grossman to Streit. Flyers just trying to get some offensive game going here. They started this game spending a lot of time in the offensive zone, got a lot of shots early, but the offense is stalling somewhat. They've been outshot 10-4 here in the second period by Columbus. Icing the call here. Flyers will get an offensive zone draw. Tomorrow at 5, former Eagle Ike Reese gives you his prediction on that game we were telling you about before, the Eagles and Bears. Eagles try to continue their playoff push. Watch Philly Sports Talk presented by Classic Nissan tomorrow at 5 on Comcast Sportsnet. And by the way, I still will disagree with George McPhee saying it was a great hit, and I'll disagree with Adam Oates saying it was a clean hit. They did get a 5-minute major for a reason.
Yeah, there's a violent collision with the boards, and that is the appropriate call as the 5-minute major. There's no doubt that that was a dirty hit.
Jack Johnson to Nick Foligno. He couldn't get it past Couturier, who rolls it back off of McElhinney to the corner. Reed gets his stick on that clearing attempt by Teuton, but on a second try, Teuton gets it to the line and then out with some help. Flyers get it right back. Get across the line they go. Gustafsson to Couturier for the shot. Save McElhinney. Big rebound sitting right in the slot, but it was Johansson who got to it.
Lots of rebounds. Lots of rebounds. So more traffic. Get to that net.
If anything, Coach, the Flyers have been a little too deep. Some of the rebounds have gone out beyond them. And there's nobody there as that one chopped in by Trop. Hayden Coburn with a shoulder check as he spins the puck along the boards. Trop in aggressively after it. Ronaldo after him. Even thrown to the boards. Trying to recover. Trop and Ronaldo tied up. Puck squirts back. Savard played it deep. Bounces back to Letestu. He'll just pitch it down low, and there's Trop. Fourth line of the Blue Jackets spending some time in the offensive zone. Here's Murray, a shot. That one denied and is spun through the slot. And Downey goes across to Vandevelde, and he will bank it out to the neutral zone. There's some of that work ethic that Craig Berube was telling us about before the game that he expected from Columbus. They'll just come at you, and they'll work.
And a lot of that work comes easier when you're playing with a 2-goal lead. And the Flyers starting to press a little bit to try to get some offense going like they had in the first period. And right now, Columbus content to sit back and force the Flyers into making some errors.
Now here's a turnover as Grossman is taken off the puck. Raffl looking for it. Now straight ahead. Voracek, nice pass to Giroux. Giroux cutting to the middle. In across the line. He's onside. His shot goes just wide. Bounces out to Como, and he will bank it ahead out to the neutral zone. Now Grossman going to move quickly back into the Columbus zone. They batted out to center. A hand pass from Nikitin to Anisimov. Still 2-0 Columbus.
Todd Richards, the head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets. His team leading 2-0 right now over the Flyers. Let's take a look at our Independence Blue Cross Fearless Play of the game. And this is Jack Skilly going down in a bad position to block this shot. You can see him writhing in pain. Luke Schenn got all of that one. Skilly looking over to see it. Looked like they might have caught that one in the hand, but he has not returned to the bench. It goes back to what we had talked about before. Make sure that you take care of yourself, whether you're going up against the boards. Keep your head up around everywhere on the ice surface, and when you want to block the shot, make sure you're in the right position.
Skilly not having returned as he scores a goal, and that might have been his next shift or maybe 2 shifts after that. He ends up getting hit with that shot.
He made a heck of a shot on his goal. Terrific slap shot high to the glove side of Mason.
Is Raffl getting to a puck? Raffl trying to maneuver to the slot. Loose puck. And finally it's Columbus finding it. Jack Johnson hustles it to center. And a golf swing chop into the Philadelphia zone from Atkinson. It ends up right out in front. Grossman ahead and the Flyers move out. Streit takes a hit along the boards. Voracek following up. Could not keep the puck in the zone. Calvert to Dubinsky. He'll dump it in. He's going to chase. Mason out of his net. Guiding it to Grossman. Grossman up the wall, and that goes off the stick of Raffl and down the ice. Flyers looking to complete a change. But really a quiet part of this game. Not much happening offensively, certainly for the Flyers. Not a whole lot for Columbus either. And Mason's going to cover up here. Well, now he's given some time and he'll move it ahead. Given a lot of time there. Flyers trying to take advantage. Downey overtaken from behind. And now it's Foligno racing to the puck. Foligno, it's a 2-on-1. Foligno cross ice Umberger, and he didn't get all of it. Now it's loose back out in front. Played up by Streit, but not out. Nikitin is there. He gets it to Umberger. Umberger all the way back out to Eriksson. Across Nikitin for a shot. Umberger actually takes that as a pass and backhands it wide. Downey with a check on Eriksson and jabbing it free to Timonen. Timonen for Reed. He's forced by the pinching Nikitin. A diving play by Timonen to get it out of the zone. Eriksson then fans and Reed jumps on the loose puck. Matt Reed up the left wing. Takes a look and goes back. Schenn's shot is blocked. It drifts all the way across and there's Coburn. Coburn racing on in for the shot. McElhinney the save. Braden Schenn goes after the rebound. Umberger overtakes him, but does not get it away from Reed. Reed getting it down low. A 2-on-1 down low here as they get it in front for Schenn, and he chipped it, but it was blocked by Nikitin. Another try in front. It's still loose. McElhinney finally able to put his glove on top of the puck.
Well, Blue Jackets have that 2-0 lead. Flyers trying to get some pressure there. Some good work, but it's all about the 2-on-1s for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Shorthanded goal here by Cam Atkinson. He elects to shoot, looks off R.J. Umberger. And then Jack Skilly here in another 2-on-1. Thinks shot all the way and fires that one upstairs before leaving this game after blocking a shot with his hand.
Face off to the right of McElhinney, who's been good for the Blue Jackets when called upon. He's made 21 saves. 30-year-old goalie, well-traveled with his 15. 82nd NHL game. Simmons moving in. Simmons, the shot, save, another big rebound, but again, the Blue Jackets take care of it and clear the zone. Coates said the rebounds are there. Flyers have to get to them. Some credit goes to the Blue Jackets keeping them away from. Other blame perhaps to the Flyers for not getting there. We'll see if they can get to some of them as we move along here in the second half of this game. Letestu now, the other end of the ice. For Trot, and Letestu back after it. It bounces free into the circle. Chipped at by the Flyers, and they'll move it ahead. Schenn to Hartnell, and Hartnell's shot off the stick. Stays in play off the glass. Murray plays it up the wall. Luke Schenn blocks it. Sweeps it around behind the Columbus net. Savard is there, and he'll get it to Murray. Ryan Murray, second overall pick in the 2012 draft. To the Boone Jenner, and then backhanded in by Letestu. Mason will spin it up the wall, but right to Blake Como. He couldn't do much with it. Ronaldo takes over, but he's then checked. Behind the net is Columbus getting to it. Boone Jenner takes a look in front. Has to spin away from Ronaldo. And does now, steps in front. Mason had it paddled down and deflected the puck. The Flyers get to it and clear it up, but not out initially, but it rolled off the stick of Johnson. Now Tootin from the red line will wind it in. And Flyers will go back and get it. 4:37 remaining in this second period. Goal in each period for the Blue Jackets. Nothing thus far for the Flyers. Trying to change that. Vandevelde backhands it around behind the Columbus net. Even in back behind the cage now. Vandevelde trying to get there, but it's Tootin first to Davinsky. Worked on by Hall and Vandevelde. Now Hall checked, and Tootin takes over. He's got some space now. He'll backhand it up and out to center. Knocked down by Reed, and then now Foligno's in some trouble in the neutral zone. There's a penalty. An interference call coming up against Philadelphia as Foligno was clipped. He'll be back.
Blue Jackets up 2-0 here, heading to the power play. You see Nick Foligno, little nick on the nose there after he runs his face into the rear end of Braden Coburn right there. Coburn going across the neutral zone and made contact with Foligno there. And interference was the call.
Well, Coburn ends up in the box. Here's the Jeep Trivia question. Since the start of the 2010-11 season, how many trades have the Flyers and Blue Jackets made? I almost gave this away earlier on in the broadcast, but did not. It's either 3, 4, or 5. Give you the answer in the second intermission. 4 minutes remaining, second period. Big kill here for the Flyers. Can ill afford to drop down 3. Shot right there by Johnson, though, and Mason had to make the save up high. Blue Jackets get it right back, and Johnson has it. Holding on. Swings it back out, Tootin. Pass for Johnson, read well by Timonen. Hits Reed in the back, though, with his clear, and the puck stays in the zone. Dubinsky is shot. Save Mason. Rebound. It's loose. Comes free to Johnson. And he could not finish. Now Dubinsky with a shot. That's blocked, and it bounces side of the net. Great chances for the Blue Jackets. Just could not bury those opportunities. Dubinsky holds on, waits, and flings. That one batted away. Side of the net, bounces high in the air, and there's Atkinson. Checked by Timonen. Dubinsky got it back out to Teuton. Teuton across for Johnson. Flyer player without a stick as Johnson's cross-ice pass is deflected by Couturier. Couturier interfered with as he tried to get out on the check and could not, but no call there. But Timonen has the puck, and he will clear. Flyers needing to get a player out there with a stick in his hands, and they will as Reed goes to the bench. Look at the breakdown. Pretty even Steven on the power play home and road for this Columbus club. Now, Luke Schenn lost his signal until he gets it back. Shot to Keaton, and the save made by Mason. Gustafson able to clear. 27 seconds remain in the Coburn minor.
Keaton can really shoot that puck. A couple of real heavy shots in this game. One of them missing the net in the first period. And a good hard slap shot there. The Flyers were able to get to and clear.
Jay Umberger, the former Flyer, gets the puck in and then finds it. He'll roll it up the wall, but that's going to wind up going all the way down and pretty much taking care of the Columbus power play. Murray will get the puck to Umberger. He stopped at the red line just as Coburn exits the penalty box.
Well, you can catch the next Flyers home game from a Wells Fargo Center club box seat. Enjoy the game with a premium lower level seat and have access to a private bar, wait service, and restrooms. Call now for the latest special offers and get out here and join us for a game.
One more home game before Christmas, and then the Flyers aren't home for quite some time. Their annual post-Christmas road trip takes them out to Western Canada, Colorado, Phoenix, New Jersey. The Flyers can somehow find a way to win this game and the one against Minnesota next week. They'd end up going about 2 months. They'll be guaranteed going 2 months without a loss here on home ice, but they have a lot of work to do here tonight. Less than 2 minutes to play in the second period. They're down 2 goals. They are back to full strength. Coburn has to get that puck in, and offside go the Flyers as that puck bounced cross ice to the slot, but Flyer beating the puck into the zone. Well, one of the Flyers prospects receiving quite an honor, as we learned today that Scott Laughton will be the captain for Team Canada in the upcoming World Junior Championships in Malmö, Sweden. There is Scott in the middle there. He's having a tremendous year once again in the OHL. Of course, officially started the season with the Flyers. First couple days of the season before they decided to send him back to junior, and he's just tearing up the OHL.
He is absolutely on fire up there, and a guy that was one of his predecessors, the captain of the Oshawa Generals, Boone Jenner, here playing with the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Well, it's quite an honor to be the captain of that World Junior team for Canada. And, of course, maybe the folks here in the States can't really get a feel for how important that is up in Canada. But they watch that tournament, which starts right after Christmas. They watch that almost as much as they watch the Olympics.
Right. More Americans watch it now, too.
Yeah.
It'll be on NHL Network, and it's a great opportunity to see some of the young budding stars of our league.
Yeah, NHL Network's going to have a whole bunch of games from that tournament on. The Flyers have some prospects involved, so you want to tune in. Here's Simmons, and across the line. Simmons, twisting and turning, and then backhanding it around. Hartnell is there. Final 38 seconds of this second period. Savard checked by Schenn. Hartnell down. And now Hartnell back up trying to get to the puck, but it rebounds to Foligno. And he'll start his way out to center ice. Banks it in. Luke Schenn hits him after he had played it in. No call there, and Eric Gustafson to the puck. Dubinsky and he come together. 16 seconds in the period. Jack Johnson in from the point. He's not afraid to go deep in the offensive zone. He centers it in. Foligno's shot. He scores. It got across the goal line before being swept back out with 7.5 seconds remaining in the second period. The Blue Jackets make it 3-0.
No surprise to Craig Berube that the Blue Jackets will work the puck well in the offensive zone down low below the goal line. And they generate the scoring chance. It's Jack Johnson, the defenseman, and it's Nick Foligno who's able to get the puck to the net. And the Flyers try to get to it before it crosses the line, but it slides over after squeaking through Mason.
Right here, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Philadelphia Flyers collapsing in. But Dubinsky does a good job identifying right there, and you can see the puck was just on the goal line. You got Foligno there too, but 5 guys to 2 guys, seems like somebody didn't get picked up.
Well, they adjust the clock to 10.1 remaining, so officially the goal will be at 19:49. They're announcing 19:52. Late in the period, we can tell you that. And it's a 3-0 Columbus lead as Foligno gets the late goal, and the fans let the Flyers know they're not too happy with the way things have gone here thus far tonight. Columbus had not led the Flyers in this building since their very first meeting back in 2001. They're ahead by 3 now. And tonight's second period brought to you by Kia. To learn more, visit kia.com. Also brought to you by the Pennsylvania Lottery. This Saturday's Powerball jackpot now has an estimated annuity of $60 million. So play today. Pennsylvania Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. Players must be 18 years or older. John Borick and Rick Tocchet will take apart that second period with our analysis as our coverage of Flyers hockey continues after these messages. Tonight's third period on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you by the Philadelphia Super Network Buick GMC dealers and by McDonald's. Now at McDonald's, any size iced coffee, or sweet tea is just $1. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Sugar House Casino brings you the statistics through 2 periods of play.
You can see the difference in the shots on goal in that second period. Columbus very comfortable playing with the lead. They extend the lead with 2 second period goals, including the late one that gave them the 3-0 lead.
Scoring summary shows you the 2 second period goals. Jack Skilly, who would later leave with an injury at his 3rd of the year, and then Nick Foligno scoring the correct time, 19:49. And speaking of that goal, sort of symmetrical for the Foligno brothers as Nick scores that goal here late in the second period. And his brother Marcus, who plays for the Buffalo Sabres, was doing the same against the Boston Bruins in Buffalo right there, that slam dunk goal in front. The 2 goals nearly at the same exact time with the brothers Foligno. Somewhere Father Mike was watching where you can break up the games in the game center. You know,
he hit his head on the ceiling. Actually, he did one of those leaps that he does.
Leap, yes.
So he's feeling better now, though he iced during the intermission.
Nick Foligno actually did the Foligno leap on his first NHL goal.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, in honor of his dad. Skilly back on the bench for the Columbus Blue Jackets. So after blocking that shot with his hand, he is okay. For the Flyers, a major mountain here, down 3 against a team that has yet to lose in regulation under Todd Richards when leading after 2. However, that loss, the one loss they had, which was in overtime, did happen recently. So maybe they're sliding in the wrong direction. Maybe the trend is going in the other direction.
And the first 5 minutes critically important for the Flyers in this period. They want to reestablish the forecheck that they had in the first period and try to get some pucks past Curtis McElhaney, who was outstanding in period number 1, not very busy in period number 2.
So we are ready to go. Flyers trying to have a comeback here in the third period to protect their home ice winning streak and also get above 500. It has been so elusive for them this year. Into the Philadelphia zone. Timonen gets to Coburn. And they move up with it. Past the Raffle. Checked by Atkinson, who dumped in center, but got the puck into the Philadelphia end. Coburn checked by Dubinsky, his former teammate in junior. Coburn ends up with the puck. Got it to the line, not out. Tootin will dump it back behind Mason. Now it's centered. Atkinson nearly got to that, and now Dubinsky does for a shot that rattles around at the side of the net and bounces across the ice. Early pressure coming from the Blue Jackets. Now it's banked ahead to Giroux. He's 1-on-2. Voracek's coming. There he is. The pass to him. He can't control. Now he's got it. And and he's tied up and he can't spin it in. Oh, he had plenty of net to shoot at, but his stick had gotten tied up and he couldn't get it on the puck. And now it's Johnson the other way, winding it deep to Philadelphia ice. Luke Schenn for Downey. And ahead Couturier, moving well. Couturier will turn back with it and find Luke Schenn for the shot. Save McElhinney, the rebound. Steered to the line and out. Gustafsson will have to play it in the neutral zone. A couple of good chances for the Flyers here, though, as they try to get the offensive game going. Reed will backhand that puck on the boards. Downey bunts it to Couturier. Wrapped up by Savard. Now escapes it. Got it out in front for the shot by Reed, and he missed the target. 3 scoring chances already for the Flyers here in the third. Unable to finish. There's Couturier. It's it back to Luke Schenn. Plays it wide and high on purpose, but Blue Jackets will get to the puck, and Savard clears.
The start the Flyers were looking for in the third period, getting those prime opportunities. Matt Reed just zinging one past the post, and now we get some more Blue Jacket pressure here on Luke Schenn.
Boy, that opportunity by Jake Voracek within the first minute of the third period. What a kickstart that would have been. And then Reed just missed by about a foot.
Puck out in center. Streit knocks it down, flings into the Columbus zone. Brayden Schenn trying to get in on the forecheck. Puck bounces to the slot. Now Simmons after it. He's checked, kept in by Grossman. Right back for Simmons, goes behind the net instead to Brayden Schenn. Schenn trying to get away from Eriksson. They joust for it. And finally it squirts to the corner. And Nisimov there. He's met by Hartnell. With the puck finally gathered by Eriksson. Keaton, and now ahead. Nisimov slides it out through the neutral zone. We approach the 3-minute mark of this third period. Ahead. Schenn for Hartnell. And back to it is Nikitin. And now ahead it goes out to the neutral zone where Timonen will gather. Muska, Braden, Coburn. Shots for the game are relatively even after the Flyers had a huge edge early on. Van de Velde in on Nikitin. Leans on him and then centers the puck. The shot! Save! McElhinney off of Ronaldo. What a setup by Van de Velde. Ronaldo stopped by McElhinney, who's had to be good from time to time. He's made a couple of good saves here early in the third, and a couple of other shots that just missed the target. Now Coburn stripped to the puck. It's Dubinsky, his pal again. Dubinsky holding on, centering, looking for Umberger. Umberger finally lost control, and now it hits the referee behind the net. Coburn there for Hall. And we get back to Coburn, as the Blue Jackets do work very hard when they get in the zone on that forecheck. Ronaldo looking for the puck here. It deflects up into his midsection. He lost it. And the other way, Johansson stops it for Foligno, and then Johansson fires, save Mason, gathers the rebound and covers.
Flyers have 3 early chances here in the third period, and Curtis McElhinney comes up with the saves. It's a Giroux pass to a wide-open Voracek. The bouncing puck there. Some good help from Jack Johnson, who gets back into play. Reed fires wide here of McElhinney, and then good work getting the puck to Ronaldo. Van de Velde fired that pass out quickly, and McElhinney out in the top of the crease to make the save.
I'm just wondering if Calvert got there just in time as Ronaldo was about to let that shot go. Oh, yeah, he got it. Don't get me wrong, but I wonder if he upset him just enough to maybe throw him off a little bit, because Calvert did a good job to jump back into the slot area.
Flyers gain control off the defensive zone draw. Voracek dancing his way through the neutral zone. Voracek in the pass, was it a goal? And then Giroux couldn't find the puck. Now Voracek has it again, steps in front, shot, he scores! Can anyone say Skoracek? He has his 6th goal in the last 6 games. Flyers on the board, it's 3-1. Voracek scores for a case of Tasty Cake.
Exactly what they wanted to do coming out of the dressing room. Get a goal in the first 5 minutes. Giroux right there, and the chance off the feed from Voracek stays with it, gets it back to Voracek, and he swings out and slings that into the back of the net.
And the advantage once again is he comes out looking at the net, not on the backhand. Gets his head up, understands where he wants to go, and gets himself right in the middle of all the traffic to be able to take that great wrist shot. And now this is what you've got. You got 15 minutes still to go, lots of time.
Voracek remains red hot. It's now a 6-game point streak. He has 6 goals and 2 assists over that stretch. And Jenner stealing that play pass by Mason, but the Flyers get it back, and now Gustafsson outletting Reed. Deep it goes. And Murray first to it. To Jenner. The young players for the Blue Jackets. Nisimov will play it out to the neutral zone. Reed goes back to get it. 5 minutes in now to this third period. Luke Schenn to Downey, but in ahead of the play was Reed on the left wing, and so offside whistle. Giroux and Streit with the helpers. Voracek's 9th of the year, so Jake Voracek now just 1 off the club lead in goals.
You can see the numbers there for Voracek as he continues to pick up points here, and it was a huge one. Flyers looking for some energy. The building's got some energy now, and let's see what they can do with it.
Timonen finds that one in. Puck in the corner. Scott Hartnell working hard, but it's tipped away by Letestu. Kept in by Coburn, who digs it off the wall and got a shot up. He scored! A bouncer! And it finds net! And just like that, the Flyers are within 1. It's 3-2. Coburn scores for a case of tasty cake. And the Flyers right back in it.
Coburn's played some outstanding hockey, and he gets a break here. A well-deserved break for Coburn. The way he's pushed the pace offensively, continues to fire pucks towards the net, and gets a nice deflection there that beats Curtis McElhinney.
You hit it earlier about what Coburn was doing. He's having just a spectacular night. And what a move, and a gutsy move. He used his reach to be able to hold that puck in just inside. He's getting a lot of pressure, but he held his spot there, moved back into the middle, took advantage, and then, yes, he did get a little bouncy on the way in, and I think Columbus has called a timeout.
Take another look at that goal and watch the bounce that he gets. It doesn't even touch a stick. It's going to hit the ice and bounce up like that. An amazingly good bounce that forces the Columbus Blue Jackets to call a timeout, and it's probably well-timed by Todd Richards when a goal goes in like this. And the bounce there just changes direction, and the Flyers catch a good break with some good effort and energy here to start the third.
Hartnell gets the only assist at 5:22. Richards has utilized his timeout. We're back in play, and the Flyers are back in play. Now just 14.5 to go. The Jackets going to get in the forecheck here. Dubinsky tumbles to the ice. He and Braden Schenn battle, and the Flyers come away with it. It's Timonen for Coburn. He's racing to center ice now. Coburn hit across the line. Why not? He'll try another shot. That's blocked. Flyers have to rotate back, though, and here come the Blue Jackets. Dubinsky with Calvert. Dubinsky with the puck. He holds. He takes the shot. It's blocked. Timonen. And Timonen felt that one. He is now on his way to the bench in pain. We've seen that before. Here's Braden Schenn the other way. Schenn holds, and he went to take the shot. It was blocked by Jack Johnson. In fact, Schenn's stick broke as he took that shot. And now it's Jack Johnson ahead. Umberger fires it into the Philadelphia zone, but play is called. Couple goals separated by just a minute and 2 seconds. Jake Voracek and then Braden Coburn. Just like that, a 1-goal game.
Little delay here at the Wells Fargo Center for some repairs. Maybe that helps Columbus as the Flyers in the midst of a comeback here. Make plans now to go to the Flyers Wives Carnival on Sunday, January the 26th at the Wells Fargo Center. Here's your chance to meet your favorite Flyers up close and personal. For tickets, visit FlyersCarnival.com. And it's a great way to say hi to the guys and support an unbelievably great cause.
Well, let's take a look at our Toyota turning point. Comes here in the third period. Flyers trailing 3-0. A minute and 2 seconds. Now watch Jake Voracek. He's going to come wheeling around here and gets right into the seam and bang. It's a 3-1 hockey game. And then, as I mentioned, a minute and 2 seconds later, Braden Coburn. Unbelievable job to hold the puck in inside the blue line and then takes the shot. And as it moves in, it bounds, and McElhinney just didn't judge it properly, and that is our Toyota turning point. Right now the score is 3-2 as we still, right here, are getting some adjustments to the left of the Flyers bench.
Yeah, the curved glass just past the Flyers bench. We need to replace. Crew's done a really good job in getting that done. There you see the new glass. And Timo Timonen limps back out to the bench after getting some treatment of his own after blocking a shot earlier on. That second goal, it depends on the look, but the one angle, I think it did deflect off his
like
stick.
it, didn't it? Yeah.
And then take the strange hop off the ice. Roll that far out, you're going to say goalie's got to stop it, but it did take a strange hop. Not only up high, but off to the right of the goalie. All right, here's a battle. Foligno wins it, got it in the slot to Johansson. Across it goes in front Murray. One pass too many perhaps for the Blue Jackets there. And then Johansson plays it back in a race for the puck here. Raffel's going to win the race. Take a big hit, but got the puck to Voracek, who's centered, but everything covered there. Gustafsson has to react quickly here to try to keep this away from Foligno, and he does, although Foligno's staying right with him. And Gustafsson will play it up the right wing to Giroux. Giroux with ice to work with. Up the right wing is Claude Giroux. To the middle, couple of Blue Jackets there. Murray takes it away.
How about the job Gustafsson did? He had not one, but two Blue Jackets on him, and he still had the ability to be able to do a nice spin and get the puck out.
Backhanded in by Luke Schenn. He gets it back. Play it to the corner and chase himself. Luke Schenn and Murray come together. Savard's in there as well, and now it's Brandon Dubinsky. Hard off the glass. Gustafsson couldn't keep it in. Couturier is back to play. Luke Schenn diagonally into the Columbus zone. The carom is to the circle. Savard battles with Reed. Downey trying to get the puck out of there. 5 players. And they pop free. Couturier holding, then plays it back to Luke Schenn for the shot. Glove save. McElhinney. Great feed by Couturier. And Luke Schenn got plenty on the shot, but McElhinney flashing some leather.
Luke Schenn's been aggressive in this game, especially in the third period. Some good board work, though, and a real heads-up play by Sean Couturier. Allows the forward Calvert to slide by him, gets the puck to Schenn, and he blasts away.
He's got the right idea here. Now watch, you see McElhinney goes in. He's got a lot of traffic in front, but he goes down into the butterfly. Well, that was going high, I think. I really believe that might have gone right over the net. I think he got a little air into that one, but still, it was cooking.
Yeah, Downey trying to get there for the deflection. Just couldn't make contact with it. Right off the draw, the puck in on McElhinney. They had to make the stop. Braden Schenn over to keep it in. Backhands deep. Hartnell after it. Hartnell got an assist in that goal by Coburn. Point number 499 in his career. And now, out to center it goes. Coburn knocked it down with his glove, played it with his stick. Testu had a shot at it, but Braden Schenn gathers. Braden Schenn, round 1 at the line, and lost control, and Keaton takes it. To Eriksson, and ahead for Anisimov. Artem Anisimov to the Philadelphia line. Wide on Grossman, takes the shot. Off the stick and then hit the safety netting perhaps, but no call. Hartnell will tip it behind the net, but Anisimov gets there in front. They score! Blake Comeau scores. Hartnell thought the puck hit the safety netting earlier on, but there was no whistle. Play carried on. Comeau ends up with the goal, and it's 4-2 Columbus.
It's a strange bounce near the stanchion and near the mesh on that puck that went past there. You can see Hartnell pointing up to try to get the referee's attention, thinking that it hit the netting, but the Blue Jackets play on and end up scoring on a nice feed from Anisimov to the front of the net.
Well, Hartnell's looking to see if that, look at, he kind of really didn't even play it because he figured the whistle was going to blow. Then Anisimov kept going, and everybody seemed to stop, and next thing you know, Columbus players there all by himself, and Mason was kind of deep in his net to boot.
First goal in 17 games for Blake Comeau. Acquired for a draft pick in the course of last season by these Blue Jackets. Started with the Islanders, went on to Calgary before arriving in Columbus as a veteran presence. Big goal here for his club from Anisimov at 8:35.
Timing everything for that goal for Blake Comeau. And the Flyers have to dig deeper here to try to get another one back and once again get to within 1.
And, you know, the lesson is there, even if you see the puck hit the safety netting, if the whistle doesn't blow, you can't let up.
Right.
Got to carry on. Here's a turnover as Nick Foligno steals, but Claude Giroux gets it right back for Philadelphia. And Foligno knocks it away. Giroux gets it right back as they play catch. Now it's Giroux. Up the middle, off Raffle into the Columbus zone. McElhinney is there. Eyes the boards. Got it past Giroux. And here's Umberger. Umberger, 5 years a road roommate of Steve Mason. Plays it into the Philadelphia zone. They had dinner last night. First time they've really been able to spend any time together since Mason was traded last year. Upended in center was Raffle. Crowd wanted a penalty. They won't get it. Here's Skilly into the Philadelphia zone. Down behind, hoping for Trop. Wrapped up by opposite 26, Gustafson. Giroux's in there. Bounces free to Luke Schenn. Luke Schenn could not clear as Letestu takes it away. Trop will win the race to the puck. His pass in the middle intercepted by Ronaldo. Ronaldo from his side of the red line plays it in, but did so in a way that it's not icing. And then he follows up and hits Atkinson hard. Flyers steal the puck, bouncing toward the slot, but Dubinsky now puts it down. Dubinsky. Now it's backhanded out to the neutral zone by Calvert. Back by Philadelphia. We passed the midpoint of this third period. Flyers down 2 again. Savard. Cross for Murray. Calvert will spin it out to the neutral zone. Nick Grossman. The Flyers are changing players. Puts Downey off the bench and then takes the puck back. Grossman hits the red line and sails it in. Reed will chase with Savard. Savard will move it along. It's stolen back. Como couldn't clear. Grossman shot. Save made by McElhinney. Downey for Reed in the corner. Reed back to Grossman. Across it goes. Straight having trouble with it. And he'll lose it. Boone Jenner with the puck. Tips it in the middle. He's got Como. Como backhands wide of the net. All the way out it goes to Couturier in the middle out of the reach of Downey. And Eriksson will play it all the way down the ice, but no icing here. Gustafson leaves the rush. Pass to Reed. Winding it deep. Couturier surges in after it. Spins away from it. Check centers for Reed. Shot. And that hit Simmons, I think, in front as he didn't get all of it. Now Luke Schenn, a shot. Deflection save. McElhinney. Reed redirected. McElhinney had an answer. Lino trying to clear. Schenn a good keep. Got it to Simmons. Simmons holding on. Simmons to the angle. Around behind the net. Out the other side. Turns and fires. Blocked off by Eriksson, who then backhands out of the zone and all the way down. This will be icing against Columbus.
Let's take a look at our Wells Fargo great check of the game, and Zach Ronaldo, he's going to catch Atkinson right here. Atkinson kind of admired it. You see how it kind of went backwards, and he looked at it and say, oh yeah, I got the puck, it's going to wheel around. Well, Ronaldo's going to, that's a basic right there. I'm finishing my check. And Atkinson felt that, and they had some conversation going back to the bench beside us.
Zach's been known to cause conversations with his play and sometimes with his mouth. He's Tiemann into Coburn for a shot that goes wide. Bounces out to the circle, kept away from Brayden Schenn. Tiemann fires one wide. Nick Foligno after it. Coburn in from the point, got a piece of it. And now it's maneuvered ahead to Johansson. Johansson still without a point in this game. Trying to make it 10 straight games with a point. Coburn couldn't get it past Tootin. Feder Tootin. Next to Calvert. Cross ice. Jack Johnson racing to center ice. And offside go the Jackets at the Philadelphia line. 7:32 remaining in the third. Chevy Malibu Sports Night follows the post-game show tonight with a preview. To the studios we go to Neil Hartman and Amy Fadul.
KJ, thank you. Big game, obviously, for the Eagles on Sunday night at Lincoln Financial Field with the Chicago Bears coming into town with 2 top 10 receivers. How are the Eagles going to respond to that?
Absolutely. Derek Gunn will have more as the Eagles secondary prepare for Alshon Jeffrey and for Brandon Marshall. And, of course, we're going to hear from the quarterback on the other side, Jay Cutler, who is going to be making his second start after missing 4 straight games.
All right, that's all coming up on Chevy Malibu Sports Night following our Flyers coverage. But right now, let's see if the Flyers can come back from that 4-2 deficit. Let's send it back to JJ, Jonesy, and Coatsy.
And our Hyundai save of the game. Well, there have been some good ones in this one. Curtis McElhinney right there with the glove, making the save on Luke Schenn.
Downey in front trying to provide the screen there and trying to redirect that. McElhinney looked through it and came up with a big save as Grossman here almost takes off the head of Ian LePerriere and his head coach, Greg Berube.
The coaching staff, but I don't know if you need more playing time that way, huh?
Never seems to get you on the ice anymore.
Laughing was not laughing like we are, that's for sure. No. If you see that puck head up that way. Ended up over there, Coach, right behind you. Fans getting to that puck as it was tossed in. And bouncing puck here, gathered by Giroux, and Giroux finds Raffl. Cross ice forward check. In, across. Here's Grossman, the shot, and it hit Trop out high and never got on goal. Battle on the boards. Grossman pitching. Flyers defensemen have been activated here in the third, and they're doing a good job getting up on the play. Here's Toot. To the center. Grossman over to get to it. To Streit. And now Mark Streit. Back for Grossman off his stick to Raffl. Diagonally in. It's Voracek first to it. Voracek turning with it, but did not get it through, and now it's off his stick and out of play. 6:38 remaining. Flyers still need 2 to equalize.
Nick Foligno holding on to that potential game-winning goal that he scored late in the second period. 11 seconds left in the period, proving to be a pretty important goal in this game. Flyers will try to come up with a couple late ones here, and the D have been extremely active in the third period. Coburn throughout the entire game, and the rest of the group really jumping up here in the third period.
Braden Coburn's skating has been so obvious here in the they're actually, to be honest with you, over the last 4 or 5 games, he's really been noticeable out on the ice, up on the play. Teaming in, winding that one in. Slugged past Downey to Foligno. Wrapped up by Coburn, again up on the play. The puck deflects over the glass.
Well, Flyers Santa Sacks are still available. Each pack includes an autographed puck, 2 tickets to a Flyers game, Adirondack Phantoms game tickets, a 2014 Flyers calendar, and more. Be the best gift giver this season with Flyers Santa Sacks.
Ryan Murray controls off the face-off, and he got it out to center ice. Surrey back to Kimmo Timonen. He'll send a bouncer toward McElhinney, and he handles that one. More of a true hop that time. In the quarter, Coburn backhands it right out in front. Downey has to reach for it. He's got it now. Downey's pass, high slot read. He lost it as overskated it. Coburn gets it back and fires, but wide. Timonen will keep it in at the other point. Downey right back to Kimmo. He's in tight quarters, and the puck skips up into the safety netting. Less than 6 remaining here in the third. Tonight's Flyers Blue Jackets game was brought to you by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By Bud Light, it's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. And by Wells Fargo. When you're considering buying your first home, Wells Fargo is with you. Wells Fargo, together we go far. And happy holidays to all the Flyer fans out there. Like all the fans, joining us on Comcast Sportsnet Mid-Atlantic and Comcast Sportsnet Chicago as well. It's Comcast Sportsnet Philadelphia here for this divisional game between the Flyers and Blue Jackets. Still have to adjust to saying that. There's a loose puck. Downey gets to it, and his shot is blocked. His sliding in the way was Como. Out of play it went.
Well, Downey is going to just take a little bit of a hit. He's got an opportunity to be able to let that shot go very quickly. When he tries to get set right here, Como, that's a nice job. What he does is he slid with his feet first and got the shin pads in front of it. That's a great job there by Blake Como.
Yeah, you can see the rolling puck there for Downey. It was in a difficult position to move it from his backhand to the forehand, and that gave Como enough time to slide across and block it.
Flyers win the draw. Luke Schenn's shot is blocked by Jenner, and then another shot floated toward the slot. Knocked away. Como will flutter one to the Philadelphia line. It settles nicely for the Blue Jackets. Jenner around behind the Philadelphia net. Flyers recover. There's Brayden Schenn. In the middle for Luke. And his brother will wind it in. Flyers have to get in on the forecheck here, though, especially this line. Schenn Simmons and Hartnell. Our game has to be about forechecking, getting in. So they're going to look for pretty goals out of this group. Just grinded out goals as that puck deflects to center.
Similar to the way the Blue Jackets play. We've got a delayed penalty coming here to the Blue Jackets, and the Flyers will get the right guys on the ice and see if they can get something off the rush here.
That had to happen away from the play. Braden Shen moves it ahead. Here's Giroux with speed. Giroux hit across the line. Looking pass. Goes back to Simmons. Simmons shot. It's a skate. Rebound. They score! Eric Gustafsson pounding it home. Flyers back within one. It's 4-3. Gustafsson scores for a case of Tasty Cakes. Don't go anywhere.
Steve Mason alertly heads to the bench for the extra attacker, and the Flyers take full advantage of that extra guy on the ice. There you can see Mason recognizes the referee's got his hand in the air for the delayed penalty. Marched right by some time. The Flyers get Giroux on the ice, and they go to work in the offensive zone. And eventually, Eric Gustafsson recognizes that as soon as the puck is touched by Columbus, the whistle's going to blow anyway. So he rushes up the ice. The defenseman stays up there and ends up scoring the goal.
What a great job by Gustafsson to read what was happening. Getting up into the rush, they outnumbered the Blue Jackets down deep, and then all of a sudden gets the opportunity finally with a rebound coming right back onto a Flyers stick.
Now the Flyers getting 2 more goals from defensemen here tonight. They started the year really struggling in terms of getting offensive output from their blue liners, but of late, more and more they're contributing. Coburn and Gustafsson now with goals in this game. And the Flyers within 1 again, just over 4 minutes remaining. Blue Jackets, Johansson carrying the puck to center. They're onside. Here's Umberger. Umberger to the corner. Checked by Grossman. The puck back out. Savard couldn't get much on that shot, but it's still loose in the slot. Umberger had a swipe at it, but now the other way goes Voracek. Up the right wing. Raffl goes to the net. Voracek for Raffl. Hit the post. Rebound. They score! Claude Giroux tips it home. They made it all the way back. 4-4 the score. Giroux ties it as he scores for a case of Tasty Cakes.
Wow, this place is rocking right now, and what an outstanding job by Voracek on the entry. Gets the puck to the net off the skate of Raffl, off the post, and Giroux keeps digging to the blue paint and puts it to the back of the net.
And there's a classic Voracek move as he cuts back into the middle, looks, gets the shot through, and Raffl, what a great job Raffl does. He draws the one defenseman towards him. Giroux gets loose. That's the big part right there, and that puck sitting right on the goal line.
Separated by 53 seconds. The 2 goals have tied this game. 3:33 to play. The crowd fully involved now. Dubinsky with the puck. Pops it off. Set around to Eriksson. He didn't get much on that clear. The Blue Jackets, a young team, as we mentioned, will be a little rattled here. Couturier moving in. He'll wind it, fire. That changed direction and went just wide. Downey clears it around for Reed. He's checked. And it hops back up the wall for Jenner, and he's just going to clear the zone. Gustafsson knocks the puck down, skates it back in. Drop pass Downey. He rolls it around. It'll make its way to Braden Shen. Shen turns and fires. Save McElhaney. Behind the net. Flyers have it. Reed trying to get it to Downey. It's tipped away. Now Reed is knocked to the ice, so he can't get back to it. And Jenner will move it ahead to Como. And he'll slide it into the Philadelphia zone. Boone Jenner after it with Gustafsson. Jenner showing his strength. As the puck continues to have it and sends it off of Mason at the side of the net. And now the Blue Jackets get to it there and Isamov. Luke Shen trying to contain him. He got the shot up. Save Mason at the side of the net again. Now behind the net. Braden Shen can't come up with it. Como does. Pressure from the Blue Jackets now. Jenner turning with it. Given room. Turns. Fires. Glove. Save. Mason. No further play.
Let's take a look at our power back rehabilitation. Come back. That's right. Come back goal. Watch Voracek. As we had talked about, now you got Columbus trying to come back. They're picking up everybody one-on-one. Raffl gets drilled. Then, right there, you see Giroux being the guy to get down deep, gets behind the defender for the Columbus Blue Jackets, and that's our power back rehabilitation comeback goal of the game.
All right. Flyers to complete the comeback by jumping ahead for the first time in the game. Again, the Blue Jackets have never lost in regulation when leading after 2 periods. Flyers have 2 minutes and 5 seconds left to try to do something about that. Raffle in after the puck here, goes into the boards. Broken stick. It is Raffle's stick that broke as Grossman pinches. Giroux after the puck. They battle along the wall. It comes back out to Voracek. Fakes the shot. Gets some room and then takes it. And it takes off and finds glass. Straight around behind. There's Voracek again. Voracek taking a look back to Straight. He'll wind and fire. It goes wide. Side of that. Giroux back in. They score! Claude Giroux puts the Flyers on top. Goal number 100 in his NHL career. Gives the Flyers a 5-4 lead. What a way to hit the century mark as he scored for a case of Tasty Cake.
This is an incredible goal by Giroux. Watch this. Puck protection elevates that shot over the glove of Curtis McElhinney. Unbelievable what Giroux does here. The spin off, tracks it, and elevates it from a really tough angle. What a goal.
And you figure Savar's got Giroux where he wants him because he's got his back to him. He's got Giroux moving in the opposite direction. You got to figure McElhinney's going to be on this side of the net, standing up, and all of a sudden Giroux with that flip backhand. Unbelievable.
Well, you're going to hit a milestone, you might do it in style, and that's what he just did. So the Flyers now lead this one, 90 seconds to go in the third. And there goes McElhinney to the bench. Extra attacker on now for the Blue Jackets. Jack Johnson, a shot that's gloved by Mason, puts it down for Simmons. Simmons tried to clear, couldn't. Now he backs it towards center, kept in again. It's kept in a second time, a third time before Simmons finally guides it out to the neutral zone. 1:10 on the third period clock. Extra attacker on. 6 skaters on 5 for Columbus as they try to tie this back up and avoid what could be a devastating loss. Here's Johnson off the stick of Atkinson into the Philadelphia zone. Timonen goes and gets it. Timonen overtaken by Anisimov. Now Foligno there. Foligno around behind. Atkinson left alone. Atkinson got it back to Foligno. To the point. Now the shot. Tootin, and that one denied by Mason with his stick. All the way out to Jack Johnson. Back across for Tootin. He'll take another shot off of Timonen that went wide. Now it's set back up by Johansson, but it was blocked aside. Flyers trying to clear, and Reed is tripped as he clears it all the way down wide of the net. But there will be a penalty.
Yep.
There will be a penalty on the play. Hooking the call with 30 seconds remaining.
Anisimov is going to grab Reed. Reed looked like he was going to go firing the other way. Watch right here. The puck comes off the wall. And then Anisimov right there gets the stick. Reed goes down, and that will really hurt Columbus.
Yeah, it's actually Jack Johnson that got the
Johnson,
stick in just before Anisimov.
Quickly, our Mazda top shelf performers. This is a fluid list.
Ever-changing list.
As the Flyers have scored 3 goals in 3 minutes and a second here in the third. Voracek and Giroux all of a sudden have huge games in progress. The defense have contributed. Columbus had the early top shelf performers, but the late top shelf performers belong to the orange and black. McElhinney back on the ice, but headed to the bench now as that shot snared by Mason. And offside was called. Offside called. So the faceoff will be in the neutral zone. 26 seconds remaining. And the penalty against Columbus with Jack Johnson in the box. There it is. Graphically, the century mark for Claude Giroux. Can't imagine getting there with anything better than maybe an overtime goal, but late third period, spectacular backhand top shelf. As long as the Flyers finish up and get the win, that's about as good as you can do to hit a milestone. Here's Timonen with the puck. Ahead with the empty net now. Raffle fires just wide. 7 seconds, though. All that remains. Back are the Blue Jackets. Voracek breaks up the pass. Now Raffle, there's the horn. An incredible come from behind victory for the Flyers as they make it 8 straight wins at home and climb above 500 for the first time all year with 5 third-period goals, 2 of them from the captain in a 5-4 win. Wow.
He's been sitting on a breakout, hasn't he, Giroux? And he comes up with it huge here in the third period. 4 points for Claude Giroux. He's our Bud Light player of the game, and that's an easy choice in this one. What a third period for the Flyers. What a third period for their captain. And Claude Giroux finds a way to get it done. Some help from Jake Voracek, who also was outstanding in the third period. Giroux gets that tap in there as he drove to the net and found the loose puck, and then just gets this place rocking with a phenomenal backhand shot here. Protects the puck around Savard and buries it upstairs. Puts the gun back in the holster and gives the Flyers the 5-4 win.
Also puts the Flyers in third place in the Metropolitan Division as they've climbed to their highest point of the season and above 500, as we mentioned. 5-4 the win for the Flyers. These same two teams will go at it again in 2 nights. The venue will change. It'll be at Nationwide Arena in Columbus. If it's half as exciting as this third period, it should be a lot of fun. Join us 6:30. Our coverage starts on Saturday night. Flyers continue to find a way to win at home. They waited a while before getting going, but they get it done 5-4 in remarkable fashion. For the entire crew, as well as my partners, I'm Jim Jackson. Good night from the Wells Fargo Center. Stay tuned now for Flyers postgame live presented by McDonald's.